What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 102 of the Idiotic Sports Talk. I'm your host, Liam Gavin, coming to you live from my dining room. And today I want to give you all my NFL wildcard picks this weekend. The playoffs start. There is the picture of the playoff bracket. Let's get into it with the Saturday games. We have the Raiders taking on the Bengals. So this will be a good matchup. The last time either of these teams won a playoff game was well over 20 years ago. The Raiders' last playoff win was in 2002, while the Bengals' last playoff win was in 1991. So both of these teams are looking to snap that long drought of a playoff victory. And someone has to win. Let's see who can match up against who in this game. The Raiders have a really good pass rush. They can get to the quarterback. They've been doing this all year. Their secondary is definitely a little questionable. And as for their offense, they can run the ball really well with Josh Jacobs. They have an amazing receiver in Hunter Renfrow, and you can't forget about their tight end, Darren Waller. Also, Derek Carr's been playing great too. If he doesn't turn the ball over, there's a good chance that the Raiders can win. As for the Bengals, their offense is just ridiculous. They have Joe Burrow at quarterback, Joe Mixon at running back, and then they have a deadly trio of receivers with the electric rookie, Jamar Chase. They have T. Higgins, and they have Tyler Boyd. And for the defense, their defense kind of reminds me of the Raiders in a way where they could get to the quarterback, but their secondary is kind of suspect as well. So honestly, if I'm going to pick someone here, I'm going to pick the Bengals in a really close game. I think it's going to be pretty high scoring. It's going to be back and forth, and there's going to be a lot of drama at stake. Derek Carr and Joe Burrow are both making their first playoff appearance. So it's real interesting to see how well both quarterbacks will perform in that big stage. And I can't wait to really look at this one. Someone's got to win, but I'm going to go with the Bengals to win 30-25. The next Saturday game is the Patriots taking on the Bills. So these are two division rivals. They've met twice already this year. They split the series at 1-1. It will be in Buffalo where the Patriots won last time. And it's going to be about 8 degrees and snowy in Buffalo, kind of like how the conditions were last time these two teams played in Buffalo, and it was really, really low scoring. You saw a lot of the run game being used by the Patriots, while the Bills, they didn't really run the ball that efficiently, but over the past few weeks, they've been running the ball really well. It's going to be really tough to pick because you can't really pick against a Bill Belichick-led team, especially with a defense as good as the Patriots. But the only issue I'm seeing with the Patriots is Mac Jones. His play has declined over the last few weeks. If he could pick it up, the Patriots can make a run. As for the Bills, if they stick to the run game like they have been the last few weeks, they can run the ball, and Josh Allen just doesn't turn the ball over, which he's been doing good in the last few games, then the Bills can definitely win this game. I think it's going to be low scoring due to the weather and a close game. I'm going to take the Bills here 13-12. As for the Sunday games, we have the Eagles taking on the Buccaneers. So these two teams met earlier in the season. The Buccaneers were blowing them out, and then the Eagles kind of rallied back to almost tie it, but the game was kind of far out of reach. And I kind of see that maybe happening again in this game. Maybe it'll be a little bit closer. The Eagles rested majority of their starters in Week 18, so they're going to have everyone back to full health. Meanwhile, the Bucs didn't rest as many starters in Week 18, but they're getting a lot of defensive starters back, such as Shaq Barrett, such as Levante David. Both those guys are Pro Bowlers. And you can't forget about their running back, Leonard Fournette, who was having a crazy good year before injury. And honestly, what I've been hearing about the weather in Tampa is that it's going to be a little bit windy and rainy. So I expect the run game to be used a lot. The Eagles do have the number one rushing attack in the NFL. And the Bucs don't really run the ball that great, but when they do, I mean, when they stick to the run with Fournette, they're tough to beat. And I know they have the number one passing offense in the league. And the Eagles' defense, they're okay. They're middle in the pack defense. But it's just hard to see Tom Brady getting bounced out the first round. I just really don't see it happening here. So I'm going to take the Bucs to win here, 31-21. Next, for the Sunday game is the 49ers taking on the Cowboys. So these two teams have a historic postseason meeting. They've met, I believe, 6 times, and the Cowboys are 4-2 against the Niners. The last time they met was the 1995 NFC Championship, which the Niners wound up winning, and they wound up winning the Super Bowl after that. So there's a lot of history between these two teams. Whenever these two teams meet, it's always going to be a showdown. I can't wait as a Cowboys fan. A lot of people were telling me, hey, the Cowboys have an easy matchup, and they're completely wrong. They're just idiots. If you've watched the 49ers, they are very, very good at running the ball, and I mean very good. And the Cowboys' defense is very good too, but an area they struggle in is stopping the run. I think if the Cowboys' defense could stop the run of the Niners, get to Jimmy Garoppolo, hit him a couple times, shake him up, force a turnover, it's going to go in the Cowboys' favor. And I think if the Cowboys' offense can avoid turning the ball over and get their running game going, it'll help them in the long run. But it's not easy to run against this Niners front seven. It's easy to pass against their secondary, but definitely hard to run against. This is a very, very close game in my opinion. Either side could win, but obviously I'm going to roll with the Cowboys here, 28-23. Next is the Steelers taking on the Chiefs. So the Steelers have been really up and down all season. They never really had an identity. They got lucky a few times. They lost games that they should have won, and they won games that they should have lost. These two teams already met a few weeks ago, and the Chiefs absolutely obliterated the Steelers. And maybe that'll happen again, but this is the playoffs. Mike Tomlin's a really good head coach. He's going to figure out how his guys on the Steelers can kind of try to detain Patrick Mahomes in that offense. But then again, I don't really see the Chiefs going one and done either. It could be possible if they sleep on the Steelers, but I know Andy Reid, he's that type of coach where he's not going to allow his guys to sit back and get too comfortable, especially in the playoffs. He's going to have them attacking that Steelers defense, and it's either going to be a blowout or it's going to be a close game. I'm going to pick in the middle here. I'm going to say that the Chiefs win 33-20. The last wild card game is on Monday, and that is between the Cardinals and the Rams. So these two teams also met twice this season. They split the series 1-1. The Cardinals, when they played in Los Angeles, they beat the brakes off of the Rams. But when the Rams came to Arizona, they beat the brakes off the Cardinals. So honestly, it's real interesting to see what's going to happen here. I did see some interesting stats, though, about the Rams playing at home. The Rams are 3-5 when they play at home, while the Cardinals have a road record of 8-1. So that's something really interesting to keep in mind. However, I just don't know if the Cardinals are going to be able to pull it off. Cliff Kingsbury, he's making his first NFL playoff appearance along with his young quarterback, Kyler Murray. And there's always that stigma in the air where a young quarterback and young head coach, first time in the playoffs, they don't normally do that good. So we're going to see come Monday. I'm going to go with the Rams here. I'm really not that confident in this pick because the Rams have been shaky over the last few weeks, but so have the Cardinals. The Cardinals lost 4 of their last 5 games. You don't really want that down the stretch when you're heading into the playoffs. I am going to pick the Rams here by the score of 31-24. So last week on my picks for week 18, I went 10-6. My regular season total is 162 wins, 109 losses, and 1 tie. I'm looking to have some success here in the first round of the playoffs in the wild card. If I'm going to go with a lock here, I'm going to go with the Chiefs. And I don't really have an upset, but I guess if I had to choose, it'd probably be the Pats or the Raiders, maybe the Cardinals, one of those teams. So that's it for my wild card weekend picks. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Let me know what picks you agree with or disagree with from me. Remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on my Instagram. Do what you can to like and promote and share my page. Thank you all and enjoy your weekend. Enjoy some football.